On Wednesday, we talked with the ring steward and medication control from Equestrian Canada about their roles at Canadian Nationals.
My name is Tina Collins. I'm from just north of Toronto, Ontario. I am an Equestrian Canada senior steward as well as an AHA steward. I've been involved with Equestrian Canada for just over a decade. I started working with Equestrian Canada at the very beginning of the Breed Sport Committee. The Breed Sport Committee looks after all of the promotion and rules and regulations surrounding breed horses in competition. That's Morgans, Arabians, Hackney, Welsh, Saddlebred. And so I've been very, very involved in that for the past decade. This is my third year here at Canadian Nationals. It's really, really a fun show for me to do with all of the varied classes and divisions. I really enjoy it. The hours are a little long, but it's super fun. And as I said, we get to do a little bit of everything, and we get to see everything, and so it's quite interesting. I'm a second-generation horseman. My mother rode hunters, and my father was a Governor General Horse Guard in Ontario. I grew up actually competing on Arabians and Morgan horses, and my sister, I have three older sisters, and we were all competing on Arabians, and as the youngest, I decided I didn't want to compete against them, so I ended up with Morgans, and I still to this day, my daughter and I both compete in the Morgan division in Canada and the US. Equestrian Canada, the history that I know of it, so it was our Canadian Equestrian Federation, and it rebranded and changed. It became more than just about equestrian competition, and now it incorporates provincial federations as well as industry and marketing. We have provincial partners, provincial federations, equestrian federations, and they look after certain programs such as coaching, trail riders, recreational riders. They also, some of the provinces have their own provincially sanctioned horse shows and officials as well. Well, it's an Equestrian Canada sanctioned horse show. It is our sanctioning body here in Canada, and just like the USEF, we license all of our own officials as stewards being part of that. I think it's incredibly exciting. It's very, very exciting, and I'm also the one kind of bragging at Equestrian Canada that this is also not only one of without a doubt, our largest breed show, but one of the largest horse shows, period, in the country.
My name is Jim Stinson. I work with Equestrian Canada. I'm the medication control person. I live just north of Winnipeg in Manitoba. What I do is I take samples of horses' urine. We pick horses very much at random. Sometimes in the big shows we'll pick a reserve or we'll pick a champion. We work with the stewards and we also work with the judges. And if somebody sees something or there's some indication that there may be some foul play, then they would direct it to me. But it's my option to choose which horse I'm going to pick. And I do it very randomly. As an example, this morning I picked a champion, I picked the second out of the ring, and I also picked the last out of the ring. So you never know which horse you're going to be picking. So this is a 5-day show. Because I picked a horse on Monday, doesn't mean he's not going to get picked on Wednesday, Friday, or Saturday. An example, when we do endurance rides, which are 100-mile rides, if we can grab a urine sample even after a 40-mile loop, then we might even draw a sample at the very end. So to make sure that nobody is doping the horse. And I'm doing this because I love horses, and I don't want to see any horse hurt, and I want to see everybody on a safe playing field, an even playing field. No one should get an advantage by using drugs of any kind. When they moved the Canadian Nationals to Brandon, I was extremely happy because in Manitoba, had an opportunity to do it. So I believe this is the 6th year or 7th year. 7th year. So I've been here every year for doing the Nationals under Equestrian Canada taking the samples. We only draw urine, but we'll wait an hour, and if we cannot get a sample, then we will draw blood. We trial several methods of getting urine though. Let the horse relax. We have a test stall down at the other arena, which is clean, fresh shavings, everything. We all have horses. We know what happens when a horse goes in a clean stall. I will take a horse back to their own stall, give it a few minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes to see if it will give up a sample. Let it relax. Plus it helps the rider to take everything back, makes it easier for them. If the horse isn't not settling down and too busy eating or doing something, then we'll take it back to the test stall. Even yesterday, there was one horse, it was fairly warm yesterday. We took the horse out, gave it a bath, just to cool it down, relax, let the horse relax. And then we took it back to the back down to our test stall. Within 3 minutes, that horse gave up a urine sample. Just let him relax. My job is to get a safe, secure sample. I use my background in the Royal Canadian Mounted Police on taking exhibits. So I treat every sample as an exhibit. I make sure it's sterile. I make sure it's witnessed when it's sealed, marked accordingly, and sent forward. Everyone is an exhibit, in my opinion. No, I'm very pleased with the organization, the way they've set up our test stalls. I haven't seen any changes with people. I found, I'd say 98% of the people are, the riders and that are all fantastic. The other 2% are kind of surprised that we're going to do it. I don't worry if somebody's going to be upset, but I've never had anybody upset. I will not take a horse if or the rider is going in the next 2 hours, because I don't want to impede with them competing. Now somebody travels all this way to go into a horse show, and then their horse is drawn, and all of a sudden they're up in the next show. Well, I can take that same horse in the next show and I can draw a sample. I don't even approach a person prior to going into the ring. I do not want their mental aspect knowing I'm going to get tested. I do not know what drugs they're testing for. There's about 8 pages of all these items. That's not my job. My job is safe, secure sample. There's no real set how many I do. One of my biggest things is this uniform. With me walking around, you see me walking around with my cup. Well, I'll walk through the stalls. Everyone knows I'm here. It's very visible. They know who I am. They say, uh-oh, we better not. You know what I mean? I believe in prevention. And this to me is one of the biggest prevention things going. It's called a veterinarian. I would not even begin to try and tell a person what it is. We had once, probably shortly when I started this, about 15 years ago, we had a young girl's horse tested positive. And she was shocked on why it tested positive. It was a bronze show. It was, and they did an investigation as why this horse tested positive, because she had given it nothing. What had happened was a contaminated feed from the previous was delivered to the barn, and that's how it was contaminated. So I couldn't tell her, she's been feeding her this. Well, that's not my job. I don't know. I enjoy this job, because I have horses. I get to come to this event, see fantastic horses, and I make it a level playing field for everybody. And that's, I'm biased because we have Arabians at home too. We don't show. I'm biased on it. Where else can you get to see such beautiful horses? I got into horses because of my wife. And friends of mine were farmers, My wife had horses, and I've always loved animals. We always have had animals. We live in the, I retired first, when I did 30 years, I retired. We stayed where I was because I had my barn, I had my riding ring, I had my hay shed. We have our horses right with us. To me, horses are a stress reliever. I had a bad day at work. All I needed to do was go out and just brush the horses, and all that energy, negative, the horse took it away. I just love animals. I love horses. I love reading horses. I love understanding them. Every horse is a different personality, and this is what, as a technician, you got to learn that. You know, you don't go in, okay, whatever. You have to read them, take them careful.
Join us on Thursday for tail tours and be sure to stop by the shopping expo. See you there.